Man, what's good, everyone? Y'all know what it is. This is another HBCU Fanatics. Another Thursday, man. Blessed to see another Thursday. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Y'all know what it is. This is your boy Jared O'Levin Green with my host, Mr. Amazing, aka Mr. Southern himself, Coach 67 Sports TV. What's going on, brother?
Man, I am blessed and highly favored. It have been a long day, but all is well. I'm glad to be in the building, and everybody, y'all should be ready because the fanatics are in the building. Yeah, dig.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Um, Congratulate. We're gonna go ahead and get into the D2 playoffs, man. Well, first of all, let's say what's up to everybody that came in. So have motivation to be a millionaire. Always supporting, man. What's up? He said salute Jared Coach 67 chat and fanatics, man. Salute. And then relax and calm rain says salute Jared Coach chat and HBCU family. Salute to you, brothers, man. Appreciate y'all always supporting. Um, I got a bone to pick with Albany State. Don't get me wrong. Um, Congratulations to them for making to the third round of the playoffs. But they had Newberry College, aka the Newberry Wolves, beat. Um, they shut them out first half 21-3. No, yeah, first half 21-3. Bro, how could you let them score 21 straight points in the second quarter alone, bro? And then let them score 7 points in the third quarter, and then the Golden Rams only scored 3 points in the whole second half, man. So Newberry College Wolves shut Albany State out the whole second half, bro. No touchdowns, nothing, none. So I'm happy that they made it to the third round of the playoffs, but just to get shut out like they were this close, man, of making it to the fourth round. But Newberry College showed the experience, showed the experienced playoff teams and the team, and it was shown. It's shown, man. But again, congratulations to Albany State. Now we're gonna make a quick pivot, man. So quarterback, their star quarterback Isaiah Knowles, and I'm talking about the Golden Rams, Albany State jumped in the portal. There's rumbling saying that Coach Quinn Gray is definitely is going to get the job. FAMU. Those who don't know, um, unfortunately, former coach of FAMU, and I'm blanking on his name, man. James Colzie has already been
James
fired,
Colzie. Yeah, it's
and
official now. We
it's
already
official.
talked about it, but it's official at this point.
Yeah, it's official. But yeah, he man, I wanted James Colzie to get at least one more year, bro. But I think they're gonna go ahead and it's safe to say is it safe to say they're gonna go ahead and roll with Coach Quinn Gray?
Yeah, I mean, he went to FAMU. Like I said, if it was me, he would be my number one candidate. For me, I'm not saying you wouldn't want to interview other candidates, but Quinn Gray would be my number one pick. Teddy Bridgewater would be number two. Now they got people out there saying, hey, go and get A. Reed. Man, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I know people keep saying A. Reed here, NFL Hall of Fame, woo, that's cool. But the way things went with that Bethune Cookman job, I think it's a strong possibility he might have burned every bridge in terms of like HBCU football. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if he won't do something, he might have to go to Division II route, HBCU. But he might feel that's beneath him. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, like if you shown you that boisterous, you that outspoken, and I know we talked about it on this channel, you, I, Big Joe, and I'm not saying y'all were wrong in terms of, hey, if he felt like this was an injustice in terms of them just not keeping the facilities clean, cool. But at the same token, I felt like you could address that in a better way than he did. So at the end of the day, I know people gonna have opposing points of view, but at the end of the day, somebody went to HBCU, graduated from HBCU, and I know Big Joe, he graduated from Louisville, but at the same token, HBCUs operate differently than PWIs. So at the end of the day, like they got a lot of HBCUs that would have the opportunity to hire him and wouldn't hire him because of the way he handled that situation. So you can almost scratch his name off of that list. So I think it's almost safe to say it's a safe bet that Quinn Gray is probably going to be more than likely the guy. And not only that, based on the success of Tremaine Jackson, he brought a lot of players with him from his previous coaching stint. And more than likely, uh, Quinn Gray probably going to do the same. Not just Isaiah Knowles, he probably going to bring a bunch of other players with him. So at the end of the day, he went to FAMU. I think he's the safe bet, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to Queen Grad FAMU, now I don't want to because it might be a long show because we're trying to be on here for a good time and a long time. But as far you talking about as far as the which you 100% right. As far as the politics, a lot of HBCU um, front office when it comes to the athletics, it probably not gonna like how voice outspoken. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Outspoken. Ed
Boisterous,
Reed is.
outspoken is all the
Yeah,
same.
yeah. I just couldn't get it out. um, but I think that's the type of brother you need. So I disagree. But as far as the politics, you're right. But I think that's that's the issue, right? That's the whole my bone to pick with a lot of HBCUs. They need to change that.
I mean,
But
no, don't get me wrong. Behind the scenes, Jay Good and I talk about this. Bolt. I graduated from Southern. He attended Southern. And truthfully speaking, uh, we don't like the way a lot of HBCUs are really not forward thinking, and they kind of have Stone Age views and perspectives when it comes to certain things, and that's why we was like, all right, hey, the Marshall Falk hire for Southern, it might push them in a different direction. But even if you look at how quiet things are right now, Southern has never been synonymous for being uh you know fully transparent when it comes to certain things. Like them just sitting back being so quiet right now, it kind of has the stench of the way they used to operate. And truthfully speaking, I'm gonna touch on this more on a video I'm gonna do on tomorrow. And in addition to that, on another edition of the Southern. I mean, not Southern. Let me saying the Southern Roller Show. Bayou Sports Talk. Another edition of Bayou Sports Talk this weekend. But
uh
at the end of the day, like they got to be more forward thinking. They can't be stuck in these primitive Stone Age ways. You got to get out of the way. A lot of HBCUs operate, and I think that's one of the issues that many HBCUs, Southern University being one of them, have in terms of their mindset and their perspective on certain things.
okay. Salute to Clyde Marshall. He said, PWI, my friend David Terrell, formerly a Michigan and eighth round draft pick, would be a great prospect. Dave had played for the Bears, and he would bring in former Michigan NFL standout. You know what? I remember David Terrell. He was a speedster,
Yeah,
uh,
I remember David Terrell too.
wide receiver, good talent. So that's what's up, man. Yeah, I can see it. I can see a lot of HBCUs need more of that, man. Um, But welcome, man. This is my first time me seeing you here, man. Welcome to the conversation, brother. Good input.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, that was some good input. And truthfully speaking, I've known guys that, like for example, right? I didn't know this person directly, but there was this friend of mine who had a friend that was an assistant coach at LSU like a handful of years ago or whatever. And he was like, look, I promise you, if somebody gave me the opportunity to be the head coach of Southern, like I would elevate the program. But at the time, you got to realize he was making considerably more as an assistant coach at LSU than a head coach at Southern was making. And on top of that, he was like, hey, I would need, more finances dedicated to this and dedicated to that. And I'm like, he would want to bring in all his assistant coaches. And I'm thinking to myself, he don't realize that at the time he probably was making but $150,000 more than Southern head coach as an assistant coach at LSU. And then not only that, but all his assistant coaches that he would have brought in, they was only gonna be getting like literally crumbs. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
he probably wasn't gonna be able to bring in the coaching staff that he wanted, and he wasn't gonna be able to bring in the assistant coaches that he wanted. So you got to realize a lot of times guys don't take jobs. Now Deion Sanders, I don't know his financial situation, whatever. I'm not even gonna speculate on it. But him being a head coach at Jackson State, like both parties benefited from it. Deion Sanders benefited from it individually, and Jackson State is a program benefited from it.
Hmm.
However, if you got guys that might not have had the same type of success that he had in the NFL, and they might not have the same type of finances that he has, they might not be able to afford to take $150,000 pay cut, $200,000 pay cut, to get an opportunity to be a head coach. So at the end of the day, like everybody's situation is not different. You can't expect. That's why I wasn't mad with Willie Simmons when he left FAMU to become the running backs coach at Duke, because he was getting a considerable pay raise, and not only that, but that job was the stepping stone to him becoming the head coach at FIU. So at the end of the day, like finances play a major role in it, and in some instances, HBCUs might not hire guys that have backgrounds or pedigree from a PWI, because from a financial standpoint, it might require more, a lot more.
Yeah, man. And salute to your boy Jay, man. He said, "Salute, guys. Salute, brother. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Man, salute
Uh,
your boy Jay.
always supporting. Appreciate you, brother. Big Reg, my brother. Host of Big Boy Talk, him and Brandon Bazell and Jay the Six. He said, "Salute, fellas. Had to stop in and show love before I go to sleep.
Man, salute to you.
Salute, brother. Man,
Salute
yeah.
to you, Big Reg.
Matter of fact, 86 Ghost, aka Brandon Bazell, he's gonna go. He's about to go live in like an hour, if not now. I don't know what time zone, so I'm gonna try to support him while I'm live. Uh, your boy Jay said Coach Falk was hanging out with Lane Kiffin yesterday. Hopefully, they build a relationship. He can get some of the LSU players to Southern like back in the day. Mm,
Well, I'm not gonna lie, like I was at I'm an administrator now, so I'm no longer a head football and head basketball coach on the middle school level. So I was talking to one of the coaches on the staff in my current school, since I'm an administrator now, and he showed me that exact same picture. But somebody was saying that Lane Kiffin, you know, he at LSU ops, whatever. And I'm like, look, hey, I think it could potentially be a pipeline, but like you and I have talked about often on this channel, Pete Richardson had a great deal of success, but once Nick Saban stopped LSU players from transferring to Southern, like you know, things kind of dried up for Coach Richardson. And the irony is, the last player that transferred during that era. Now you got players like, like Trey Holly and Demarion Johnson that transferred to LSU. That's on the current Southern team. But we talking about back in the gap, like in '03, the last player was Junior Joseph, and I had a couple classes at Southern with Junior Joseph, And when I went to take my practice test at Baton Rouge High School, Junior Joseph, his dad was in my same testing group, and he and I talked a good bit. Junior Joseph was cool people, but he didn't have the kind of impact on the field that we thought he would have. We thought he would be like a Michael Hayes. Of course, Michael Hayes was more of a 50-50 ball kind of guy because he was 6'5", and he had a basketball background, whereas Junior Joseph was more of a speedster type of cat, but he didn't have the kind of impact that we thought he would have. But once Nick Saban put that block from allowing LSU players to transfer to Southern, walk right into the starting lineup, become, All-Americans and NFL prospects. Once he blocked that, like, I hate to say, I'm not saying it was the only thing that kept Coach Richardson winning championships, but I think getting them players from LSU, it kind of put him over the top. Guys like Chris Cooper and Mike Hayes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Um, Also want to respond to Clyde Marshall. He said Michigan versus Alabama. David caught 4 touchdowns from Tom Brady as Michigan defeated Alabama at the Orange Bowl. Yeah, and Justin Fargas is his roommate at Michigan. Would be game. Justin is Huggy Bear. So yeah, I remember Justin Fargas. He was in my opinion, he was a damn good third down running back for Oakland Raiders. He just didn't get a chance to start a lot, but he was a
Yeah,
very good running back.
yeah, that was Antonio Fargas' son.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
that's why you call him Huggy Bear. Yeah.
yeah. I remember Huggy Bear. Yeah, yeah. And salute to J Bar. Salute family in the chat,
Man,
man.
salute, fam.
Always support and appreciate y'all, man. On your way in, hit the like button. If you got to hit it, make sure you hit the like button, man.
And
Share,
please
subscribe.
subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the
Please,
channel, you dig?
please appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate every one of y'all. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, man, it was bittersweet with Albany State losing that way, man, because they punched Newberry in the mouth, and they just let them just in the second quarter, just 21 point avalanche, defensive
Yeah,
breakdown.
and I'm not gonna lie. First of all, salute to Albany State. My hats
Appreciate you,
off to 'em.
Clyde.
My hats off to them. But I'm not gonna lie. I wanted them to win. That Division II national championship so bad. But you know, salute to them. They did their thing.
They did do their thing. They did do their thing, man. But let's move on to an exciting game that happened
SWAC
Saturday night.
championship
The
game. Yes,
SWAC,
sir.
the SWAC championship game, man. I, 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 I'm glad it went with what most of us thought. Um, Now I did pick Jackson State to win, and
We
like
both
I
did.
said,
We
we
both
both
did.
did. And we don't run from no smoke. We don't hide from being wrong. We were wrong as hell. The Prairie View A&M Panthers made us eat crow, and we will gladly eat it.
No. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Well,
Nah,
first of all, let me correct something. A lot of
go ahead.
JSU fans been telling me they was like, Coach, when we say JSU by 40, they don't mean it literally. It's like a figure of speech and expression of saying. Basically, they're just saying, hey, we ride with our team, win or lose, and we think they're gonna win. They don't necessarily mean literally win by 40 points. So let me correct that. I've been saying like, look, hey, PV wasn't coming to the vet, and I told y'all off the flap. I'm like, look, Prairie View is a fundamentally sound team.
G Boom,
They
what's
have
up,
a
man?
solid, rock solid defense. They have a good running game. They have a good quarterback. I'm like, they're not gonna come to the vet and just lay down and let this Jackson State just walk all over them. I said it was gonna be a close game. I picked what 38-35 in favor of Jackson State. And the irony is, just like I picked Southern to lose by 1 point, and they won by 1 point in Bayou Classic, I picked uh, Jackson State to win by 3 and Prairie View won by 2. So I'm eating crow from the standpoint I picked the wrong team, but in
Oh, you
terms
got a
of
slice.
yeah.
You got a slice.
But in terms of the way I said the game would go, in terms of it being a close game, yeah, I was accurate on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were accurate to the point where you knew they wasn't going to blow Prairie View A&M out. People like G Boom was in the chat last week telling us. I believe it was you, G Boom, trying to tell us, that the defense is pretty stout.
Well, no, I was saying that. I was saying off the flap too, though. I was saying
You
like,
was, but you was too, but other Prairie View A&M fans were trying to tell us they're gonna be well prepared for whatever Jackson State throws their way.
yeah.
On the cool, to be honest with you, they could have been up by a touchdown if
No,
Pete. Hey, look, if Peters wouldn't fumble in the
man,
red zone.
hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck. JSU got off light as far as I'm concerned, because at halftime that score could have been easily 28-7.
That's what I'm
Worst
saying.
worst case scenario, it should have been 21-7. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt like Tremaine Jackson kind of.
They did.
Yeah, he a defensive minded, conservative coach. But running that reverse when you're on the plus side of the field and you up by 7, I'm like, dude, like, put your foot on their throat. Like, why are you trying to get cute now? Just do what you do, bro. Like, from a coach's standpoint, I'm not gonna lie, he kind of pissed me off by doing that. I'm not saying he made that call, but letting your coach call that call, like, nah, bro. Like, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Like, this is not who we are. We not a cute team. We not trying to be too cool for school. Man, hey, just get back to the fundamentals and do what we do. You know what I'm saying?
And G Boom said Prairie View left too many points on the field. They did, bro. With all those field goals
I
and that
just
fumble
said
at the
that.
1 point. Yep.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I really, honestly, legitimately thought that they were gonna let Jackson not only come back, but I thought he was gonna like let Jackson win the game. They damn near gave it away because, like he said, man, they left way too many points on the field. It at halftime it should have been 28-7 easy, but worst case scenario it should have been at least 21-7 at halftime.
Yeah, man. And foresight, dear coach T.C. Taylor last year, Morgan got hurt. Zy McDonald came in against a Southern. He was awesome. He transferred to Clark Atlanta. Why? Morgan was injured this year. Maybe this is karma.
Well, this is the thing about it though. I felt like if they would have took the reins off of Jared Lockhart. In fact, realistically, Jacoby and Morgan playing in the SWAC championship game, it might have hurt them more than anything because, for the most part, when he started out, he was rusty. You know what I'm saying? He showed like signs of rust. But then when he really got it going, he ran a touchdown. He didn't come back in the game after that. And I think they really tried to go back to their running game, but I'm not going to lie. Based on what I saw from Prairie View defense, even Trey Holly, like a lot of them cuts on a dime that Trey Holly would make, a lot of them runs would have been like long touchdown runs against like North Carolina Central, against whoever. He wasn't getting them long runs against Prairie View. So when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, Prairie View, like they got a real good defense. And then the guy that was sitting behind me, Perk Martin, if he listened, salute to him. He said he played football and basketball at PV. But basically, he was like, man, coach, he said, I'm telling you, bro. He said PV got a doggone good defense, and they just a fundamentally sound team. And I'm not gonna lie, I saw it that night, and I saw it Saturday night. Like, PV the real deal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they are, man. I think they're gonna be a damn good opponent against those pesky Bulldogs over on the MEAC side. We're gonna get into that, man. But before we get into the Celebration Bowl, what's up with a lot, like there's a few Jackson State players jumped in the portal,
No,
like
not a few.
yeah,
A
correct
bunch.
me,
A bunch.
because I know like there's only two, and we're gonna go
Man,
into it. Like the one, let me get the two that I know, because those two alone surprised the hell out of me. One of my favorite running backs in the SWAC, Ahmed Miller, he jumped in the portal. That shocked me. And then Marcus Dupree's grandson, the Marcus Dupree, who, was one of the best high
Best
school
running
recruit,
backs ever.
and one of the best running backs
High
ever.
school
That
anyway.
high school in Mississippi, and then he was a beast at Oklahoma until
In
um,
fact,
he
one of the guys,
transferred.
yeah, one of the guys I coached with that taught at my school year before last, at Capital. He played college football at Oklahoma with Marcus Dupree. He told me something about it behind the scenes. I can't really see it. I can't
Right,
see
right.
it live, but he said something about it that I thought was funny. But it is what it is.
And then, which is grandson, Janalen Taylor. Excuse me, Dupree. Dupree jumped in the portal. So, what's going on, Coach? Why a lot of these players jumping in? I don't think it's TC Taylor. It's the atmosphere. 'Cause a lot of these young boys jump because they don't like the atmosphere of the coaching. But what do you think was going on, man?
Well, first and foremost, salute to our brother Jay Good, an
Salute,
unofficial member of the HBCU Fanatics.
brother
He
Jay
and I,
Good.
he and I have been talking about this. I'll probably say leading up to the basketball game at my school. Me and him probably talked about this for, but via text message while I
Damn,
was.
15.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You saying a few? I'm like, no, a bunch. And
Yo.
I'm talking about
Mm.
guys that's like literally first team. Like you got a couple first team all SWAC players, like few first team all SWAC players in that bunch. I'm like, dude, literally, you made first team all SWAC. Why the hell are you jumping in the portal? And essentially, what Jay Good and I kind of surmised, it's more so. I don't think it's more of an indictment on TC Taylor and Jackson State. I think it's more of a reflection of the day and time we living in terms of the transfer portal, NIL, so on and so forth. Basically, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Because you know, people tell me I live in the past when it comes to like college football, especially Southern University. But I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I remember when Eric Randall started at Southern. He got to play a lot as a freshman, but people don't realize how rare he was at the time. Because for the most part, if you look at Charlie Ward that same year, Charlie Ward didn't start at Florida State until his junior year. And a lot of players at Florida State at the time, they didn't start until their junior year. And if you look at somebody like a running back like Rock Preston, he played behind Warwick Dunn. But in many instances, realistically, Rock Preston could have transferred to another school, became the starting running back, and became an All-American. That's how
Hmm.
good Rock Preston was. But he was loyal and he was committed to Florida State. And then in addition to that, uh, if you look at like LSU, somebody like Craig Null, he didn't leave LSU and transfer to Northwestern State until his senior year. So he stayed at LSU for 3 years, and then his senior year, he transferred to Northwestern. Then after that, he ended up going to the NFL. So the point I'm trying to make is, like back in those days, like players for the most part, don't get me wrong, some players that really want to play and I won't play now, they were transferred to a lower level school. Like you had so many players. That's why Nick Saban put the block on LSU players transferring to Southern because the players that really, really want to play, uh, uh, they would transfer from LSU to Southern, and they would like be like right in the starting lineup with the Woo. But now in today's day and age, with the transfer portal, with NIL, and not only that, some of these players like Ahmad Miller, you know, you probably got PWI Power Fives in their DMs. And even if guys legitimately don't have PWI Power Fives in their DMs, like some of these guys, I hate to say it, they're kind of like attention seeking females. So, hey, I came to Jackson State, I might be a freshman, might be a sophomore or whatever. I might be a red shirt junior, 1 year eligibility left. Hey, we won a national championship year before last. This year, we lost in the championship game. I'm going to jump in the portal, and I'm going to try to drum up some interest from other teams and try to create a bidding war, and I'm going to go to the highest bidder. And even if they don't do that, like, I can't think of which player it was. One of the Jackson State players, I think another one, not the offensive lineman, but one, Villanueva, he out there in portal too. But one of them, I can't think he was like a freshman. I think he made like first team all SWAC or whatever. And basically, he was saying, "Hey, y'all got tape? Like basically, do y'all have tape on me?" And Jay Good was like, "Man, like you mean to tell me you jumping in the portal and you don't know where you're gonna go at, let alone know if these teams or these coaches have like film on you? Like, what
Mm.
are you doing? Like this that makes no sense." So in many instances, like even he sent me a tweet that Trey Holly put out there, a couple of tweets. Even him is like, hey, basically a lot of these players, like I said, they trying to seek attention, they're trying to create like a little bidding war, trying to garner interest. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's a reflection on TC Taylor. It's more a reflection of the day and time that we living in, for one. Second of all, if
Sound
I'm
like
not gonna
they
lie,
trying to be like like now they I don't mean to disrespect a lot of, like, don't get me wrong, a lot of these brothers that young brothers that are jumping in the portal are talented, but not everybody got the talent of Jamari Taylor. That was the reason why he got poached from North Carolina Central to Virginia. Go ahead.
but see, that's the thing about it. If somebody's advising them to do that, that's one thing. Or if teams are in your DMs and you got legitimate interest and there's like a low key bidding war, I don't knock you for doing what's in your own best interest. However, if you just jumping in the portal and you don't have an idea of where you're going for certain, you don't have a for sure landing spot. To me, that's a bad idea, and you trying to like create a bidding war. No, like if there's already legitimately a bidding war going on for you, cool. But for you to just try to manufacture that, like that's not smart, in my opinion.
No,
Because too many players, like for example, we always use Bashawn McCray from Southern as an
he's a good
example.
example.
Yeah, you jump in the portal and you get stuck. Like unless you have a for certain soft place to land, to me it's a bad idea.
Very bad idea. And Clyde Marshall put in some stats in there. He said Prairie View quarterback threw uh, 294 yards. He was leading rusher for 100 yards. Time of possession, Prairie View A&M 38 minutes to JSU 21 minutes. Prairie View made several critical third downs. Yeah, yeah, and even
Yeah,
though Cameron Peters did throw an interception, he did damn good throwing the ball. 17 completions for 28 attempts. And then his leading receiver was Josiah Rockwell. Um, 4 receptions, 96 yards. And then he connected with Cameron Bonner for a touchdown, for just 1 reception for 40 yards. So when he had to throw it, he was more than efficient.
yeah, and I broke down all the numbers all the way
And
down.
with his feet, he did his thing with his feet. Go ahead, coach.
Yeah, I broke them numbers all the way down the other night on the tailgate party. So yeah, if you didn't catch it, like I talked about all the numbers on the SWAC championship game and on the tailgate party the other night.
Cam MVP MV Peters. Yeah, yeah, he played like it, man. He played like it. But it was a damn good game. It was. Can you believe? Let me give a shout out to um. I feel like they don't get enough credit, man. Shout out to that Prairie View A&M offensive line. Cameron Peters was only sacked once the whole game.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I said it in my video leading up to the game. I'm like the team that's gonna do a better job running the ball. I think that's the team that's gonna win. And I'm not gonna lie, to my surprise, don't get me wrong, I knew Prairie View was a good team, and I knew it would be a close game. But in my opinion, I felt like Prairie View dominated up front on both sides of the ball, and I think that really was the difference in the game.
Yeah, D line, all O line. That's the heart and soul of the ball club. Yes, sir.
Well, of course, you and I are gonna say that. We both play in the trenches. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
But
sir.
it's a guy that it been a coach, and I done had players up front, especially on the defensive side of the ball, like dominate my offensive lineman over the years. I mean, hey, I'm telling you, that line play up front, it makes a huge difference.
Yes, sir. It do. Somebody need to tell John Harbaugh that. But anyway, Brother Jay Good. We were just talking about you, man. What up, man?
Man, salute to Jay Good, you did.
And then Clyde Marshall said, "I am a JSU alum." Okay, my nephew plays center field and right field for Southern. Okay, I think Prairie View has only given up 6 sacks all season. That's pretty damn good. Oh,
And I'm
here
not
come
gonna
Adrian
lie.
Cook. Adrian Cook, chill. Y'all gonna get y'all chance to redeem yourselves next year. What's up,
No,
Adrian Cook? He's
hey,
an
but
FG front runner.
but
Mm.
that's the crazy thing about it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The JSU fans, they've been keeping it all love is a buck. But the Southern fans in my chat, they kind of been rejoicing the fact that Jackson State lost.
Mm.
But I'm not gonna lie, like
Yeah, they
somebody like
gonna they gonna talk their shit. Go ahead.
oh, but somebody like me, I'm like, look, hey, Southern was in the SWAC championship game. I really didn't have a dog in the fight, a dog in the race. But a lot of Southern fans they rejoiced in Jackson State losing.
They did. Coach Falk, your boy Jay said Coach Falk just started sending out offers. He offered a O line a few minutes ago. It's go time. Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Jay Good and I had talked about this. With today's landscape, players are not loyal like they don't have the same sense of loyalty that players back in the gap had. But even with that being said, a few J State fans got when some of these players from Jackson State jumped in the portal, like for example, like Ahmad Miller, right? He jumped in the portal, and they were like, "Yeah, he just gonna go across the street to Southern and whoop the woo." And I'm like, man, these JSU fans are saying just wild and crazy stuff. But the thing about it is, from what I'm understanding, I guess he didn't want split carries. So if he didn't want split carries with that loaded backfield they had at J State, what make you think he won't come to Baton Rouge and split carries with Trey Holly and Barry Remo? You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
not only that though, but the thing we were saying in terms of offers, I mean, don't get me wrong, like players really showing that they don't have the same sense of loyalty. But some of these first team all SWAC players for Jackson State, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not saying I would go horse to get them, but I definitely would inquire and show some interest in them. You know what I'm saying?
Man, heard a lot of young boys are regretting they found a team and transferred and not getting the playing time that they thought they was, and they regretting it. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
like
I
we
mean,
talked about it, man. The transfer portal it can be a blessing. It can definitely be a curse.
yeah, it definitely could be feast of family because we talked about players like Rashawn McCray who got stuck. You look at somebody like Kobe Dillon went to Incarnate Word, but yet on the opposite side, you look at somebody like Kendrick Grimes that ended up going to Tennessee State. And even talking about this player, talking about that player, talking about Trey Lanes who got offended and hypersensitive about all the good things I said about it. The one negative thing I said about it, hey, he should have stayed at Southern as opposed to transferring to Indiana University of Eastern Michigan. Like he got highly offended by that. So at the end of the day, like the transfer portal, it could be beast or it could also be famous.
Oh, yeah, you're right, man. And Clyde Marshall said, "I am a JSU alum. My nephew plays center field and right field for Southern. His name is Jacoby Radcliffe." Okay. Prior to his brother also played. Man, congratulations to the young brother, man. That's what's up. I know
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
proud.
yeah. Salute to him. Especially if he a Jag, you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, shout out. All right, and Adrian, because I heard they still struggling to cross the 50. Yeah, well, I'll be here all day reading Adrian Crook's messages. Well, anyway, yeah, man, it was a damn good game. I'm glad it wasn't a blowout. By either or of the teams. So I'm glad it was very competitive and one of the best SWAC championships I've seen in a minute. So uh,
Yeah, for sure.
now let's go ahead and move on to
Celebration Bowl.
the Celebration Bowl. So we have Coach Chennis Berry. and his South Carolina State Bulldogs. You know that Coach Barry's going to have this ball club coached well. Um, my thing is, or my question is, I should ask, how do you believe Prairie View A&M Panthers matches up against a experienced Celebration Bowl team or ball club?
I think they match up well against them because one, Prairie View is a very, 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 very good defense. Not only that, but they have a very good offensive line. They got a good running game. They got a good quarterback. Uh, I think it's gonna be a similar type game. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a dogfight because South Carolina State is an experienced team. South Carolina State, they well coached also. Because I'm not gonna lie, like Tennis Berry been a dog since the SU days. From a coaching standpoint, he that guy. So I think it's gonna be. You got two excellent head coaches in uh, Tremaine Jackson and in Tennis Berry. You got two good teams in South Carolina and Prairie View, and I think it's gonna be a dogfight. To be truthful.
Yeah, man. I like this matchup. I like Prairie View A&M's chances. Um, one thing I will say about this South Carolina State team, you have to watch their passing game. Their passing game is decent. No, it's excuse me, it's good. Um, Ryan Stubblefield can be streaky, but what bails him out is his wide receivers. His wide receivers know how to go and get, especially like a Tyler Smith, um, who can stretch the field. Um, now, I like I like Fairview A&M secondary
I like
against
the
South Carolina State.
I like the whole dog on defense to keep it a buck.
I'm not worried about the D line. I'm just because what's going to happen if South Carolina State can't run the ball, because I've seen them doing it against other teams who are stout defensive wise in the trenches. If they can't run the ball like they want, they're gonna air it out. And Delaware State, if you watch that Delaware State game, their secondary will start to get picked on, and that's how mainly in the second half how South Carolina State pulled away. But I and also I want to add I like um yeah, thank you, G Boom. South Carolina State quarterback is not mobile, but he can sling it. Right. And if
But I'm a,
South Carolina State can't lean on their running backs, they gonna try to sling that motherfucker. Go ahead.
but I'm gonna keep it a puck though. PV got a good secondary too though. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, and that one defensive back, I can't remember the kid name. I ain't gonna lie, that boy there, he could pretty much put him on whoever the number one receiver on a opposing team. Like they put him on Darren Morris, and they put him on. I want to say they put him on either Malachi Jackson or Kobe Brown. And I'm not gonna lie, whoever that boy was on, he was all over him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, man. And now Stubblefield is they bring Stubblefield in and certain packages situations. What I'm worried about is William Atkins the fourth, a quarterback that Berry brought over from I believe James Madison. He can sling that motherfucker too. His one of his go-to wide receivers is Nigel Johnson and Jordan Smith and Johnny Smith. Uh, Dudes like that can bail South Carolina State out when they run a game is not when Tyler Smith or even Josh Shaw can't get the yards. that they want. Those that wide receiver core, Bill been bailing South Carolina State out a lot. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But Prairie View A&M will not be overwhelmed. They should not be overwhelmed. They may actually match up good, in my opinion, against these Bulldogs
Yeah, without question, without question.
because they have a better secondary than the Delaware State. And the reason why I'm comparing Delaware State to Prairie View A&M as far as defense because Delaware State had a chance to win that game. But like I said, the secondary didn't play that well, which you got to have a decent secondary when you play against South Carolina State. But it's safe to say I'm a SWAC man. So I'm rooting for the Prairie View A&M to pull it out.
Yeah, without question, myself too. In fact, speaking of that, what score do you pick?
I'm a pick. I'm gonna pick 21-14.
I'm gonna pick 28-23 in favor of PV.
I agree, man.
Yeah, and speaking of Delaware State, like word on the curb is that Deshaun Jackson could be one and done, and he could be there just for this season. Teams already garnering interest in him. Speculation he could leave Delaware State. What are your thoughts on that?
If he leaves, I think I'll be surprised. Because it seems like um, that Delaware State program, they showed flashes, but they always been like, if not middle of the pack, um,
Bottom feeders, huh?
bottom feeder, bottom feeder. So, um, him giving that program a jolt of energy, I would be surprised him not being there at least 2 or 3 years to see where
Yeah,
in my opinion. But hey, get your money, man.
yeah. I think the thing that with him that kind of, not many, but rubbed a few people the wrong way was uh when they had the fight between Grambling and Bethune Cookman. Basically, he was like, "Hey, this could ruin his chances of playing. I mean, coaching for basically a Power Five PWI. Whereas if you got coaches like Trey Oliver, maybe Kenneth Berry, whoever, these guys want to be SWAC/MEAC coaches for life. So somebody like TC Taylor, JSU probably his dream job. Somebody like Kenneth Berry, South Carolina State probably his dream job. Somebody like Trey Oliver, North Carolina Central, probably his dream job. So at the end of the day, like everybody not interested in going to a Power Five PWI.
Yeah, man. And Clyde Marshall said, my take, I think South Carolina State will win. That's very possible. Why? They defeated Delaware State and North Carolina Central on the road. They fought the Delaware State. They fought with Delaware State with true grit. Prairie View use its quarterback for the setup for the setup in the running the ball. Yeah, that like I said, man, South Carolina State is um it they are a widely experienced team, especially in the MEAC. So they're gonna do that. They're gonna try to do that thing in the Celebration Bowl. But um, I'm impressed with Prairie View A&M, man. They um them almost beating Alabama State, which in we talked about it. This coach, Alabama State was an Andrew Body away. Uh, of course, they lost to Jackson State, but they could have went farther if Andrew Body didn't went down. But Prairie View A&M almost beat them, and
Yeah,
then so just Prairie View, the SWAC East has proved to be very competitive, where it's not where they won't be overwhelmed with the talent that's on the MEAC side. Matter of fact, I believe Jackson with the state they're in now with Jared Lockhart, they can beat South Carolina State,
I think so too.
in my opinion. But we, given our educated guess, they got to play on the field. So you most actually could be right, Clyde Marshall. You definitely could be right because Berry gonna have them boys coached up.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah, JSU lost to the two of the West teams. Yeah, and they still can beat whether it was North Carolina Central or South Carolina State, in my opinion. I hear what you're saying, G Boom. I hear what you're saying.
But I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how things play out. But I think it's gonna be a good dog fight if you ask me.
Yeah, it's definitely. I hope it is, man. I hope it's not lopsided. I don't like lopsided championship games. You know what I mean? Salute Anthony Bolton,
Yeah, I feel the same way, bro. Yeah, salute to Memphis Tiger, man. You dig?
Memphis Tiger, man. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting celebration bowl, man. Um, I think the Panthers. Maybe I'm just in the moment. I want Coach Jackson to have continued success in his first year. Maybe I'm just on that train. I don't know, but I just looking at what I've seen. Um, Purview A&M can beat South Carolina State.
I agree 100%, bro.
I'm gonna say something else. If if Delaware State would have had a true quarterback instead of a athlete at quarterback who threw two interceptions, they would have beat South Carolina State.
I can see that too. I mean, the thing about it is, you don't need to be the favorite.
There
You
you
just
go.
need,
Two
you just need
dogs
that.
going against each other. So you know that mindset. So you know it should be a good game. They're gonna have them both ball clubs coached up, ready to go to war. So there you go.
Yeah.
But go ahead, coach.
No, I was saying, uh, you could be the favorite or whatever. You just need to have one more good game, and that's pretty much all she wrote. So you don't want to wait until this game and have an awful game or a bad game or whatever. You want to
No,
go out there, you want to lay it all on the line. You want to play your best football and show who the better team is.
I definitely agree, man. I definitely agree, man. But um, yeah, we will see. We definitely will see. I am excited and I cannot wait. What time? It's gonna be Saturday at 11 a.m. depending on your time zone.
Yeah,
I'm Central, so y'all make sure y'all watch this game because you know we're gonna be back next Thursday talking about breaking this game down
yeah.
like
I
we
mean,
did the SWAC championship.
yeah. We only got a couple more episodes left, so I mean, y'all enjoy the show. Why you can, you know.
Yes, sir, man. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, Coach. Um, let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
You can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. However, I'm primarily here on YouTube. My YouTube channel, Coach 67 Sports TV, just hit 1,000 subscribers. If you have not done so already, come over to my channel, please like and share the content. But more importantly, subscribe to the channel. Also, subscribe to my brother Jared Loving Green channel here. Sunday, we're going to be back with the Southern Baller Show. We're going to talk about Michigan head coach and his fiasco. We're going to talk about a little boxing. We're going to talk about some NFL, top 25 college football playoffs, that type of thing.
Yes,
But be
sir.
certain to come over to my channel, check it out. Coach 67 Sports TV. Come subscribe to the channel. So the next goal right now is to get 1.5K subscribers by the end of the year. Y'all come through and y'all rock with me. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings to the family. And of course, for all my members of Jaguar Nation, go Jags, you dig.
All right. And you heard him, man. Let's make sure you be here. Y'all guys be here next Thursday. And then, of course, we have the Southern Baller Show Sunday around 3:30 p.m. Central Standard.
3:30 p.m. Central Standard
Yes,
Time. We
sir.
talk about NFL, top 25 college football playoffs, and talk about a little boxing too, you know.
Yes, sir. And y'all make sure y'all hit my like button, like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I just hit 300 subscribers, 304 actually. So I'm excited, man. I like that the channel is growing. So I appreciate every one of y'all, man. But this was another installment.
Shout out to the LDBC too, you dig.
Yep. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. You took the words out of my mouth. This was another installment of the HBCU Fanatics. Y'all have a blessed Thursday night.
Peace and blessings.